Well, listen up, folks. We're back. I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart and the Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite books of all time, The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. You know what? I've met Erik Larson. He signed all of my books. And you know, when I get signed books here, I do show them off. I have a big collection of all of the nonfiction that he has written. He's one of my favorite nonfiction writers. And the book that got me hooked on this guy, Devil in the White City. Man, if you have not read this, if you have not read The Devil in the White City, you are missing out on one of the top 10 greatest books ever written. Just ever. I mean, I know it's nonfiction, it's a true story, but it reads better, it's more gripping than the best novels you can read. It just is. Devil in the White City. What is it about? It's about the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Yeah, that's what it's about. And it is the most amazing book you can ever read. It just is. You wouldn't think a book about the 1893 Chicago's World's Fair would be interesting at all. But oh my gosh, does it have a lot of stuff in it. It is about two guys. Two distinct, differing personalities. Daniel Burnham, the designer and architect of the World's Fair, who he put together. This guy had a dream to put on the most spectacular show the world has ever seen by taking this big plot of land in Chicago and building this enormous fairgrounds that he called the White City. Everything in it was just white and glorious. And then there's this other guy named H.H. Holmes, who also has a dream to kill people. He has a dream to be a serial killer. And just across the way from the World's Fair, we've got this one guy constructing this dream city, the White City. Just across the way in Chicago, we've got this other guy building his castle of murder. That's really what it is. It's a huge sort of building on the corner where on the main level is a pharmacy that he runs. There's apartments and hotel rooms up above. And downstairs, let me tell you something. The downstairs is full of gas chambers, dissection tables, crematoriums, vaults and crypts, gas jets, secret rooms. There's chutes. He's built in secret tunnels and secret passages and secret crypts and secret rooms and chutes from the top floor to the down, so when he kills somebody in the top floor, you can just dump them into the chute and they go into the down floor. This guy was the first modern serial killer ever recorded in America. And this is why this book, The Devil in the White City, is so cool. Is because you are getting, every other chapter is told about the guy that's building the dream city, the guy they've both got their dreams, right? And one is the White City and the other one is the murder dungeon, the murder castle, right? And you see they both go through struggles in building both of their dream things. Erik Larson walks us through the planning stages of the building of the White City and the Chicago's Fair, and he goes through every little detail of every problem that the architect had and how he just persevered and got this World's Fair up and running into the biggest show in the world. And at that time, some of the cool things you learn about your own planet. That's why this book is so great, is because not only is it kind of a gripping serial killer thriller, but you're also learning science and agriculture and history just because of all the stuff that this guy brought into his World Fair. He built this white city where it was just pavilion after pavilion, just grand ballroom and pavilion after pavilion, all painted in white and just glistening white, it looks like heaven, just white lights, white. I mean, some of the stuff that was introduced at the World's Fair was the first fluorescent light bulb was introduced at this World Fair. They brought in an actual replica of George Washington's Mount Vernon estate and put it there for people to tour. The people from Norway brought actual Viking ships and put them on display. There were they actually brought the Liberty Bell into Chicago for this event. The first electric dishwasher was introduced at this event. The juicy fruit gum was introduced at this. Cream of wheat. There were so many things, and then the highlight of the thing was they wanted to outdo the Eiffel Tower. They wanted to build something bigger and better than the Eiffel Tower in Chicago. And this guy named Ferris built this 260-foot tall Ferris wheel that could, and it was the centerpiece of the fair. And it would fit 2,000 people on it. And the tickets were expensive, and it was just astonishing what these people were bringing to this World's Fair in 1893. That's a long time ago, folks, and a lot of this stuff, a lot of the technology that we enjoy today was introduced back at that fair. And I won't get into all of it because part of the coolness of this book is discovering, and the tip of the iceberg is all I let you know about. There's so many things that were introduced in this World Fair that are just going to blow your mind. Not only that, but just to see this guy's vision come to fruition and see how it changed the world. The World's Fair in 1893 really changed the world in a lot of ways. And contrasting that is just across the street was the Murder Castle, where H.H. Holmes was luring people from the fair into his little apartments, and he was cutting them up and dropping them down the chutes and cooking their bodies and selling their bones to different research. And I mean, it's absolutely insane the contrast of these two men and their different visions. A vision of a white city, and the other guy's just got a vision of a murder castle of darkness. It's light and dark. And every other chapter we switch between the two, and we see each thing go up from the ground up. The white city is built from the ground up, and the dark murder castle is built from the ground up. Actually, it's built for like 3 stories underground, where all the crypts and dungeons are, to the ground, and then the ground up. And it's weird because as the construction workers were working on kind of both of them, the murder castle, they're like, some of them even questions, what is this dude putting all these secret passageways and all these like weird like chutes and why does he need like a gas jets in his basement? And why does he need gas jets and huge ovens locked away? I mean, but they're like, oh, he's a doctor. He knows what he's doing. We'll just put it in there for him. We'll just build it. We'll just dig a massive pit and then we'll just put secret doors and stuff. And people back then, they couldn't even conceive of a guy would even be using it as his own personal, just like horror house. It's just crazy. The book just is mind-boggling. The book, you start reading it and you're just, every new chapter, it doesn't matter whether you're reading about the White City or the Murder Castle, every new chapter you're like, what? It's just WTFs. What the, it's just like, how can it get more bizarre? How can the White City just get more outlandishly spectacular and this Murder Castle just get spiral more and more into darkness and horror? It's just an amazing book. An absolutely amazing book. If you haven't read it, Now, I've met Erik Larson, and I went to a thing he did where he talked about that they're going to make it into a movie or a miniseries. Martin Scorsese directing, Leonardo DiCaprio acting in it. I don't know which guy he's going to play. The White City guy or the Murder Castle guy. I don't know. But it's in the works. You can Google it. There's all sorts of stories. I don't know whether it's going to be an actual feature film or a Netflix thing at this point, but they are working on it. Devil in the White City, man. Oh my gosh. Oh, I hope I pumped you up for this book. I hope that if you have not heard of this, that you go out and get it right now. I hope that if you have heard of it and been thinking about reading it, that you just go out and do it. Stop everything you're doing and read this, because you're not going to be able to look away. Yeah, it's not a fantasy novel. It's not a novel, but it is as gripping as the most gripping thriller you've ever read. Devil in the White City. Oh, I can't tell you how awesome it is. It's just so awesome. And then once you read that, he's got all these other historical novels about ships sinking, like the Titanic and the Germany, and oh my God, it's just, the guy's he's one of my favorite nonfiction writers. Devil in the White City, folks. Easily 10 out of 10. I mean, you cannot do it better than this. Trust me, please, just trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. You will appreciate this recommendation. 10 out of 10. Devil in the White City.